Here you go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Student game port. I'm Ash. I'm up in Ash.
Taking the opportunity to actually listen to the Football is Awesome podcast more often here. Like to transition out of you doing the power rankings to and like there's the thing and whatever transition and then like, oh, I guess it's my segment.
Yeah. It's the same order every week too. It's Mikey B. Well, it's my whole open. It's Mikey B. It's you.
Mhm.
It's Zach.
Yeah.
Oh,
I happen to be listening to the mid-season grades episode and listening to your power rankings that week, and boy, I was right about a lot of stuff, and you weren't. Anyway,
so far as I went 5-0 this week on my picks, 5-0 this weekend, I'm gonna keep bragging about that.
5-0. EJ, did you plead a fifth?
Anyway,
Hey, we found one way that Joe Flacco was good. He could plead a fifth.
Yeah. Who said that one? Ooh.
He was number 5. Just so everybody knows what I'm doing there. I don't celebrate Joe Flacco. He is or never was elite. No, that's not me going after anybody in particular.
He had an elite moment or elite moments. That's it. As far as it goes for me.
I would even argue we shouldn't have even seen those because Raheem Morris blowing that safety coverage, which shouldn't have even happened because of a horrible call on a pass interference that wasn't called. That was an interception that Peyton Manning allegedly threw. But no one wants to talk about that.
Game, right? The divisional game against the Broncos in 2012. Well, 13.
Yes, very strong. Well done. Well done.
Done. A long time ago. Kyle. I think that I think the Chiefs are back.
No. Okay, hold on.
And you guys talking
about because let me be clear about something. First of all, you and your arrogant ass bringing this right out of the gate is the first thing we cover. I don't want to do this to you, EJ.
Well, it is the title of this fucking podcast, this week's podcast. Football's awesome.
Football. Oh,
Chiefs are back.
You got to be fucking kidding me.
Yes.
And I don't even cuss on this show that much, but like that deserves.
Well, by the way, I almost always put the Chiefs are back, Jim. I almost did it, dude. I was so close to putting Jim's name in there because I told him if he falls off face, I'll text. It's the best. It's
you're dying on the wrong hill there. First of all, if you're going to take shots at Jim of the Huddle Up podcast, you need to make sure that you're telling him about asking him about how well his Bears are doing. Anyways,
that's true.
So here's the thing you're suffering from right now, EJ Christian, and I know you know this anomaly because I explained it to you on a particular night a few weeks back on the Huddle Up podcast, if I remember correctly. Bing! You, me, and the Huddle Up podcast edition of AJ Hawk and Matt all agreed that the top 4 teams were in the college football playoff appropriately. Yes, right?
Correct.
What was the only problem I had with the segment? Do you remember? That's a no. Okay. It was the way that Jim posed the question. He said, did the committee get it right? I said, the committee didn't get it right. Their hands were forced. This applies to your crazy, the Chiefs are back take. It's not so much that the Chiefs are back. And I'm not impressed with the Chiefs doing to the Raiders what they did no more than I am by the Titans shutting out the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who cares? Neither of them currently have a head coach right now. Oh, snap, he said it. It's not so much that the Chiefs are back or are doing well, is that all the moving trucks have just decided to leave all their old stuff on the lawn because they're sick of hearing about you talking about it. And what I mean by that is, look at all the teams that are just falling apart and giving them opportunities, right? Mm-hmm. Like, can we please talk a minute about, like, you could take a handful of games where Patrick Mahomes' numbers are right awful, and a handful of games, like this past Sunday's, where he's otherworldly, okay? He's got 2 games against a coachless Raiders team. That's 2 of his wins. Not impressive, okay? I'm sure those numbers are great, in the words of Tony the Tiger. Mm-hmm. Okay? I'm sure his numbers against the Denver Broncos, phenomenal. But when he faces somebody else worth even a fraction of a damn, a team you've written off in the Los Angeles Chargers, which you're still foolhardy to do that, I might add.
Well, they're number 8 this week.
Oh yeah, and how did their first matchup go against the Chargers?
Well, they beat the Chiefs.
Say it.
They beat the Chiefs.
Okay. Now, the Chiefs do have an opportunity to help their ability to be back. This week, I believe they play each other.
Correct. This week.
Is this week? Okay. I don't have the schedule in front of me yet. I really should.
Back, if I'm not mistaken, that is the Thursday night game this week. Yes, it is. So we'll know very soon.
So yeah. So it is this week. Okay. So yeah. I mean, hopefully I could fit some time in to watch that. While setting up to cover the Cure Bowl here in Orlando for the 3-point conversion. Bing! Yeah.
You said shit now with his bings now.
Hey, it's the most successful Bing you've ever heard because it beats the hell out of that lame search engine Microsoft released. Am I right? Boom!
Oh!
Oh! Right. Where's my Ed McMahon? Hi-oh! Exactly.
You are correct, sir.
But I'm not going to sit here and crap all over the Chiefs. I just think you're way too excited about it. That's your problem. You know what I mean? Like, listen.
I think the reason I'm excited about it is that I'm actually really excited about it because there are obviously concerns for the Chiefs. I still see the inconsistencies on offense. I acknowledge that. This is more of a play on the fact that I got so much shit for the first 5 weeks that why are they still in the power rankings by being 2 and 3? Why this and that?
Because they belong there. The only reason that I'm not going to give you a hard time if you put them in the top 10, which I only guess you have. I didn't look at it yet this week, but because I knew it was going to be a dumpster fire, whatever you did, and I knew you were going to overhype the Chiefs, and you were going to, tag some other moron who doesn't know anything about football to try to debate me about stuff.
I got shit on having the Pats and Cowboys too high this week.
Okay, well, where were the Cowboys? Is my first question.
7.
That's not terrible.
Yeah,
I would probably put them closer to 10, but I could live with 7. Where do you have the Pats?
At 4. It's like last week.
How's the guy go? If the Pats are the rent is too damn high. 4th? Are you high? Anyway,
too high, right?
Very. Listen, Snoop Dogg can't get this high on all of his chronic, okay? Jesus. 4th? What the hell, Clyde? It's Mac Jones, not Superman. Jesus. Anyway.
We'll go to the Chiefs real quick. I last night's game against the Monday night game, Cardinals and Rams.
Yeah.
No, the Rams obviously the Cardinals have had the best record most of the year in the league.
Yeah.
But there's always been this narrative that they're good, they could be great, and maybe they're really, really good, but I don't trust them, kind of thing. Now, not necessarily not saying I said this.
Who has said that?
There's been some people saying I don't know if they'll win the NFC.
No, maybe so. I haven't heard them.
I've heard a lot of that, and you have a game like the Green Bay game. Week 8 when they lost to Green Bay. The Packers didn't have their best player, not named Aaron Rodgers, in that game. Then last night they lose at home again, also to the Rams. Who the Rams end up losing 2 key players, last minute to the COVID and Jalen Ramsey and Alec Higby. When you see those things, it plays into that narrative a little bit.
I think what it really is people did have their questions surrounding Kyler Murray being hurt. And those are legitimate concerns. But if you didn't think the Rams didn't have at least a puncher's chance, you're bad at football. I mean, what the hell have you been watching? If you were so sure, Kyler Murray had 2 interceptions and the Rams didn't have Jalen Ramsey. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you see, you're looking at this all wrong. It's not so much that the Rams beat the Cardinals, EJ Christian.
Right.
It's that Kyler Murray threw 2 picks and you only beat them by 7. Right?
Fair point.
So, at the end of the day, again, I've not heard the people who are like, oh, and oh, by the way, Kyler Murray, you're leading frickin' rusher in yards. you know. But please come at me and tell me Tom Brady's the damn MVP. What a stupid narrative that is.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice little segue because the MVP race now. I mean, I've been saying most of the year that Lamar Jackson is the front runner, and I think I'm still there right now.
He's still the front runner, but if you want to argue the gap is closing, I will support it.
Who would be the person that's closing the gap?
I got 2 or 3 I'm thinking of. Okay.
Right.
One is I need to reopen the briefcase and wonder to myself why I'm not talking more about Aaron Charlotte Rodgers as a possibility. Mostly because he has, actual running backs on his squad and wide receivers. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
But and a weaker division, obviously.
Yeah.
But at some point, the level of dominance has to be a factor, right? Like, it's one thing to tactically be everything and everywhere. But Huntley came on the field and still nearly beat the Browns. I mean, yeah, of course, it's the Browns. But, I mean, at the end of the day, can you argue that Lamar Jackson being on the field would have made a difference? Yeah. But it didn't look like it right then, And meanwhile,
the Browns, really, to be honest, at the end of the day.
Say again?
Which really, it says more about the Browns at the end of the day.
And what is that?
That they are not good.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they're not as good as we thought they were.
You mean as they, Browns fans, thought they were. Granted, if I remember correctly, I had them at least one game out of missing the playoffs, or might have even have them. I don't have my notes here. I wish I could look that up. But
we're going to locks in a second, though. So we'll get.
But yeah, no, being this bad, I mean, they've already lost 6 games, haven't they? Like, I would not have guessed that.
7-6. They're in the mix. I mean, obviously in the wild card mix, but it does feel like it's a disappointing year, obviously.
But they're only in the mix because there's an extra playoff game an extra playoff spot and an extra regular season game. Okay, I mean, the playoffs. Anyways, it's like the Eastern Conference in the NBA, for Christ's sake.
Well, the East is better this year.
Now, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So who would be the names? You say Aaron Rodgers would be the closest person to Lamar Jackson in that list?
Aaron Rodgers,
Jonathan Taylor,
and Jonathan Taylor, very good. And
Tom Brady, huh?
No Tom Brady. That guy has literally the only person who has more help on his roster than Tom Brady is Kyler Murray.
Fair point. It's a fair point there. It really is.
And actually, you know what? I could argue actually that Tom Brady does have more help because, I'll put it this way. Old man Tom, long in the tooth Tom there, ain't never going to be leading his team in rushing yards like Kyler bleeping Murray.
Fair point. We do get Saturday football this week again. This week. Got some intriguing games coming up this week. Most notably, the AFC. Well, they're all AFC games actually. Think about it, but especially the one with significant wildcard playoff implications here. Pats at Colts.
Yeah, no, huge, definitely huge. EJ Christian, huge. Only thing huger will be the games upcoming between the Pats and the Bills, in my opinion. But continue.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm there with Tennessee now. They passed the Jaguars test this week. They'll get the 10 wins.
They didn't pass no damn test. They were okay again. We had this covered.
I know.
Anyway,
I did say to you last week though the bad number is 10. They get the 10 wins, which they're going to get now. Win one more game in the next 4, like you're locked to win the AFC South, no matter how you slice it, and they're going to get there.
Somebody on this microphone wrote an article previewing the AFC South for the 3-point conversion, bing, and had them winning 11 games. And one of them is Week 17 against the Texans. Just saying.
Yeah. Now, this Colts game's huge because we're talking about the schedules and the Colts. I think you know
what the schedule's awful. Yeah,
it's a little rough. But if they get through this game here, it can open up some things here, and they're at home. So it helps. But you like this game? You like?
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a fun one to watch. And considering these two teams match up better than you think. And to be honest, I kind of feel like Bill Belichick is in position to abuse Carson Wentz here.
Do you have the Pats?
I do. Because while
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor might be an MVP candidate, at the end of the day, Mac Jones is more reliable at this point. You got to think. Anyways,
Almost by default in a sense because of who's controlling the controls.
well,
You know that guy, Hoodie. Um, you want to go locks now? That's
let's see. I'm trying to make sure there's not something else where, like, I appreciate you touching on the MVP topic. That was cool. Oh, by the way,
yes. Go ahead, sir.
is it difficult for you to have to respect the 49ers?
No, I actually told Mike earlier on the segment that if I said I think I'm there. I think they're a lock now. I think if anything,
You lie. Sorry,
no.
I was trying to make it like you were a
Look at it
president.
this way, and we'll get to the second. Let's start NFC real quick because right now, if the playoffs start today, and we love doing this segment because it gets a chance to break down everything right now that's going on in the playoff picture. If this phone would actually fucking work properly, real quick, I can get this up right.
You don't even use. Come on, you're using your phone to look at. Good God.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to fuck my computer again because that happened earlier today. So I showed.
Yeah. Well, side note, I'll give you this much credit. The good news is the Titans are no longer the guaranteed #1 seed. The bad news is somehow or another, the Chiefs, Pats, and Titans are the three-way tie for the AFC. Good God. Yeah. This is what parity looks like, folks. Holy guacamole.
Tennessee has the home field. It has the head-to-head advantage because of they beat the Chiefs earlier in the year. So.
Oh yeah, further proof that that the Chiefs aren't back. Sorry. Right.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm terrible.
Let's start NFC again because NFC, of course, is like we say.
Yes, please.
Although it is fascinating. It is fascinating from 6 through like 11 and 12. NFC's North, of course, 10 is the Packers. NFC South, Buccaneers. NFC West, right now the Cardinals. NFC East, of course, the Dallas Cowboys, which pretty much wrapped things up. They got the winning against Washington. The 5 seed right now is LA Rams, which is obviously a lock. He's 6 seeded now. All of a sudden, the Niners 7-6, and then you got a 5-way tie at 6 and 7 between the Washington Football Team, the Minnesota Vikings, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Atlanta Falcons, and the New Orleans Saints. I will say this much though, because I'm not going to count the Panthers. They're out of it now. They're done.
I agree.
Seattle's only a game behind, and because of that quarterback they got there, I would not count them out this yet.
Oh, look at this guy who just 2 weeks ago had him in the bottom 5 in the goddamn league with that same quarterback. Now, you never know.
Well, Russell,
you respect Russell Carrington. I did it again.
Russell Cantankerous?
Yes, Russell Carrington Wilson, you son of a.
Beep. No, but he's played better last couple weeks too. They caught a nice win in the schedule too, especially. They beat San Francisco last week. How about that?
Yeah, no, I mean, they weren't playing anyone impressive this week. What was it? Wasn't the Texans?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Chief.
But right now, obviously, we all agree the division winners are going to be the division winners. Although I will say the Arizona thing got a little interesting now because the Rams only a game behind now.
Yeah, we talked about that last week, that the Rams evening it up is going to make it interesting. But if I remember correctly, the conference record for the Rams is problematic.
Right. So no matter what, Cardinals and Rams will get in the playoffs, whether it's wild card or not. So the big kerfuffle really is the NFC wild card race. There's 2 spots now. Obviously, now we're taking 7 to the playoffs now instead of 6. I'm there. I'm already there. I'm locking in San Francisco.
Wow.
They are the
most. By the way, side note, I have to correct myself. It's not the conference record that's problematic for the Rams. It is the division record. Okay. The Rams are still half a game down.
Yeah, the 2-2 division. Arizona's 4-1 currently in division.
A game and a half down, I should say. Beg your pardon.
Still pretty impressive on this record, though.
Right.
But I'll be honest with you. Like, I'll lock San Francisco. Honestly, I of these bunch of fucking 6 and 7 teams, whatever, the most faith I have really is the 7-6. I don't see any teams passing San Francisco at this point. I just don't see it.
Well, the Falcons have a unique opportunity because they play each other. And I have a feeling that for the first time in weeks, Danny Thompson will actually text me if his team wins. But
that's great.
No, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's great. Hey, what about anyways? I could throw him in this week. What about all that money you owed me? But he doesn't owe me money.
Yeah, no.
No, I am cautiously optimistic in the 49ers in my own way. And that's where I'm going to leave it. There's no more analysis than that. Like at this point, everyone's continuing to crap on Garoppolo, and he's starting, and he's still doing things like, I mean, listen, at this point, DJ Khaled has got to be on this guy's playlist. Actually, no, it's probably his alarm to wake up in the morning. All I do is win, no matter what, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you know, the irony of it is him playing the Falcons this weekend. I'm going to analogize him to Matt Ryan. No, I'm not going to call him Matty Ice. No one gets he didn't deserve Matty Ice even before the 28-3 debacle. Jimmy Garoppolo is a good and capable starter in this league, Ernest Christian. He's just not going to be a Hall of Famer. If your requirement as a GM is to have Matt Stafford or better at the quarterback position, then you need to move off of Jimmy G. And you never should have paid him that in the first place. Okay.
Right.
However, like Matt Ryan, he is too good to actually replace unless you have a guy. Whether Trey Lance is that guy, completely another question. And while people are calling out that pick, there was a pick made a while back, Ernest Christian. That was Drew Brees in San Diego. Yes, it was still San Diego at the time. Everyone was in an uproar that they picked up this kid, Phillip Rivers. And lo and behold, worked out all right. Just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, of course. And look, I'm looking at this kerfuffle, I keep calling it.
Like, kerfluffle. Is it frisky?
It's frisky. It's pretty frisky. Washington, Minnesota, Philadelphia, Atlanta, New Orleans. Who really wants it more at this point? This is where the schedule really comes into effect here.
I agree.
You know, I look at Washington's schedule. Lost to Dallas, of course. They got two. They have a fairly easy schedule. I'll say easy, but the rest of the way is all NFC East teams. We discussed it on the podcast last week.
They got two Eagles. Not frisky. It lacks frisk.
Right. It's 2 Eagles, the Giants, and the Cowboys. So we can assume the Dallas game might be a loss because it's in Dallas. I don't think they're going to be Dallas. Eagles could be a split.
Which works for the Cowboys, frankly.
Right. The Giants.
Come on. Man, it's a good thing you aren't a Giants fan.
Yeah, it's a good thing, right? Shoot. I'm not offended at all. Minnesota, I have trust issues with. You know,
bro.
You got the Bears, 2 Bears, a Rams, and the Packers.
That's a horrible name for a sitcom.
Yeah. You know, the point is it's going to schedule, and this is why I think you cannot Seattle just yet. Seattle does have a Rams, do have a Cardinals on the schedule as well too, but they also have the Bears and the Packers. No, the Bears and the Lions on the schedule too. So, you know, they could hypothetically still go, I would say 3-1.
And you know what? If the Seahawks make the playoffs, it won't matter anyway because they're going to lose in the first round and they still rob Russell Wilson of the MVP.
Yeah. I'm not ruling them out at all. So obviously, I'll lock San Francisco. I think of all these teams, they're the biggest grown-up team in this whole spot here. So I'll go to San Francisco. All right.
I believe I had them locked last week.
I thought you did. Yeah. And Minnesota, I mean, they're good enough, yes.
More like Minnesota.
But every time you start buying in Minnesota, what happens? They start to fucking do the thing that, you know, they always do.
Bruh, I warned you. I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Yes. And it was the last week against Pittsburgh too. Remember that game? Oh my God. That was horrible. All right, AFC right now, your division leaders right now. AFC East leaders, New England Patriots 9-4. AFC South, the Tennessee Titans 9-4 as well too. AFC West 9-4, Kansas City Chiefs. And the Baltimore Ravens and AFC North at 8-5. Right now, your 3 wild cards right now as started. 5 seed the Chargers, 6 seed the Colts, and 7 seed still hanging on by a thread, the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm.
Does this hold?
No.
What changes here?
The Colts are going to fall out. I've been tried and true on this from moment one. By the way, how about those Chargers, mother beep? Anyway.
They've actually, and it's funny that Bengals win last week. It's huge now.
Huge.
Yes.
Huge.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the Bengals' only problem is that they ran into the 49ers, apparently. Holy snap. Like,
almost won that game anyway.
Yeah, another overtime game. I am kind of convinced that Joe Burrow's finger was an issue, but if you ask Jacksonville, not as much as Urban Meyer. Hi-yo! Anyways.
Hey-yo.
No, but the Browns are a joke, okay? They're only there because Lamar got hurt, and I ain't even thinking about the Browns. The Browns will have to get to 9 wins before I even try to take them seriously. I know the Bengals will get to 9 wins, so I will take them seriously soon at some point. However, I don't think 9 wins get you the gusto here. All the Bills have to do is not get a northeastern win against the Pats, and they're going to win that football game. That Mother Nature has altered the course of the Bills in this one. Not to mention that they haven't helped themselves any bit by the bleeping way. Losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars right now is showing its teeth in a very special fashion. Right?
They're 2 right now. They're 2 back in the division now, Buffalo.
Yeah. And I'll put it this way: if the Patriots win, they've locked the division, in my opinion. There's at the end of the day, the Colts don't hold, and it's not because the Colts aren't good. It's not that they don't have the potential. The Colts, it's the schedule, and the Browns are going to fall off because they're the Browns and GTFO.
So, the Chargers have gotten, the last couple wins they've gotten it's saved their season definitely. Look at the schedule. I look at it now. Do I want to lock them at this point? I don't know. But you got KC this week on Thursday Night Football. If they've already beaten KC once already, so they could do it again. They win this game. I'm locking them up because the next 3 games are Texans.
Well, we know how you feel about the Chiefs too.
Right.
Doesn't even hesitate.
Yeah, Texans, Broncos, and Raiders.
I mean, hey, you're already an FSU fan allegedly. You know how to do the chop, right?
Go Heat, bitch. Anyway.
Go Heat, bitch. Now I'm just confused.
Yeah, now I'm all frisky. If they win this weekend, it's a lock for them. Pats, Titans, Chiefs, that's over. I'm locking them up for the division winners. The Colts is a strange one because I feel like there's of all these teams here in this wildcard bunch, 7-6 bunch. You got 5 teams, 7-6. Colts, Bills, Browns, Bengals, Broncos.
Yeah,
they're the best, probably the best or second best of this bunch. But the schedule works against them.
Really? Whoa! So you're declaring them better than the Bills, are you?
The Bills will be that other team that best or second best of that bunch.
Okay. So you're declaring the Colts to be a better football team than the Bengals and the Browns.
Correct.
That's asinine. But the only reason you're going to be right by default is because the Bengals are in a much tougher division.
Right. But, I will say if Lamar Jackson was not available for next week, it's open season. Because they say he's going to be able to play next week most likely. And because he's able to play, they're able to.
What percent is he is a whole other question, right?
I haven't said it yet, but I have faith in the MVP.
Oh, of course you do. No, you're not a raging idiot like somebody who thinks Tom Brady should be the MVP.
Here's the issue with the Ravens going forward, though.
Yes,
the schedule. What's about tough schedule? They got a tough schedule. You're in order. Here we go: Packers, Bengals, Rams, Steelers.
The Rams suddenly looks tougher than we thought it was last week, right? But here's the thing. I feel like it's funny. Lamar Jackson can either neutralize Aaron Donald or Aaron Donald could be a big problem. I don't know which it is yet. Jalen Ramsey, who cares? They don't have a receiver. What part of their game involves receivers? Are you going to put him on the tight end? Because other than that, I don't care about Jalen Ramsey. Do you care about? I don't care about Jalen Ramsey in that game.
In the Florida State though, but that's the only reason I care about him.
Oh, and he's a good corner. He was excellent when he played for the Jags across from AJ Boye.
Correct.
I get it, but in a game where a receiver is not a factor, why do I care? So it's interesting to analyze that game. That's all. I'm excited about it.
That schedule definitely is a little scary for Baltimore going forward, though. I will say that on paper.
Sure. And if you look at the Bengals, their schedule isn't all that simple in and of itself. So I mean, that's the thing. Like the Colts have the most difficult schedule of the remaining. Totally get it. But the Bengals and the Ravens, in their own right, do not have simple action there. And we talk about locks and stuff, EJ. We are. I think we're not testing enough credit to the fact that there are 4 weeks left, and any of these teams could still melt down.
Yeah. Bengals have Broncos, Ravens, Chiefs, Browns end of the year.
I mean,
yeah.
Does that sound easy to you?
Nope. I'm looking at other teams. And so that's the thing. If the Colts can still hang on, say they lose this game to New England, but they can win the next couple games after that. Because the toughest game for the Colts is this week.
Yeah.
If they win this week, I feel much better the chances going in. Because
obviously.
You play Arizona, who's, okay, at this point, not as scary as you thought they are. They're still
gone. Come on, dude.
If they at least split this next two between New England and Arizona, I'm feeling good about the Colts making the playoffs.
Now that is a good analysis, right?
Because you against the Raiders and the Jaguars.
Because the Colts have to go 3-1, and the Ravens have to split.
Because also, Raiders will quit. Raiders will quit already. They're done. The Jaguars, But
Chiefs are back, EJ.
They're back.
I love it when you make my argument for me. Chiefs, Raiders will quit. Yeah, dumbass. I've been trying to tell you that on text all week.
The only other team really looking forward that's outside that bubble right now that could make a run last minute, but they got to win out. So the schedule does helps them out is the Dolphins.
Stop it.
The only game behind.
Stop. I know they're your newest adopted fanhood that isn't. Actually, no, it's newer than the Chiefs. But stop it. I know you live in the same city as Dan Le Batard, and you got to do that whole thing. You run your podcast like Dan Le Batard show. That's great. Stop it with the damn Dolphins. Just stop it.
Well, I look at the schedule. Jets, Saints, Titans, and Patriots. And that Patriots game, the Pats may not even need that game by then. We'll see.
First of all, if you're a Dolphins fan, yes, you're hoping the Pats don't need that game. I agree. But Bill Belichick will still crush Tua Tagovailoa with a game plan. That's a fact.
Also, don't forget that game's down Miami, and the Pats, even with Brady, have always given the Pats problems.
There you go. That's where it starts to get shady. And it's not so much that they give Bill Belichick an issue. I believe actually, no. No, that's true, because even with Castle was the starter that year, after Brady got hurt, Miami gave him a hard time. But this is not the days of Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor on the same defensive front with Patrick Surtain helping to save the day. No, sir. Okay. Not to mention that offensive line has been in free fall since the Jonathan Martin scandal, but I digress.
But anyway, I'm locking the 3 teams at 3 to 4 division winners. I'm not locking Baltimore just yet. I'm on the verge, though, locking the Chargers if they win this week, especially.
In the words of John McClane, welcome to the party, pal.
They're back.
Oh, no, they never left. Your dumbass just went to get some punch.
But, dude, they got a little weird the last couple of weeks before they went this little run. So that's
Ernest Christian, buddy. And I'm saying this to you because when I point this out, you're going to kick yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
How flippin' awkward has football just been in general? College and the NFL likewise. Everyone has some crazy, frisky BS that happened in their season, dude.
Word. Is that word? I love it.
I did that just to tell you the argument, so there's no way you could tell me I'm wrong because I'm not.
No, it's been a strange year across the board. Anything football, I agree.
So I think that's the one failing you struggle with in your top 10 at times is you don't account for the fact that they had a really bad so and so. Guess what, buddy? Everybody's had a really bad so and so all damn 2021.
That's why projecting is always why I lean on, especially with trust and Chiefs. I trust the Chiefs.
The
And
only thing you
that-
project is your hatred on the 49ers and the Ravens, bitch. I said it.
That's all. That's all historically. It is what it is. Deal with it. Plug away.
A, that's what she said.
Yes.
B, the power of Niners have compelled you. Actually, I should be. I think you're doing it just to jinx them. That's my conspiracy theory. Anyway.
Well, no.
Anyways, of course, I am Kyle Nash, just doing the game. You can find me on Twitter at the SOTG. You can find me on Instagram. It's the same, the SOTG. Find my work in various places. For one, normally we also have the Huddle Up podcast this week. And of course, Jim definitely canceled it so that EJ couldn't talk more smack about the Chiefs. Good God. What a tool. Bing! No. Of course, check out my work forget also my podcast for pop culture and movies with my good friend Demosthenes Euclid with Hilarity by Default. Check it out on YouTube, the Hilarity by Default YouTube channel. If you don't watch videos like EJ, you might miss it, but I tell you what, it's a good time, I promise. Check out my work, of course, covering the UCF Knights football and basketball programs. That's men and women's basketball, by the way. On the Black and Gold Banneret, of course, I will be covering bowl games, including UCF facing off against Florida on the 23rd at the Gasparilla Bowl. I will be covering the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers taking on Northern Illinois in the Cure Bowl this Friday for the 3-point conversion, as well as 2 other bowls we're eyeballing here. So stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, last but certainly not least, my work covering the Jacksonville Jaguars, not only with the 3pointconversion.com, but my friend Captain Chris Hill at oldschool101.com and A7BN Sports. Ha! One of these times I want you to be writing all that down, because if I ask you what I do and where I do it, you have no idea.
So reverse the end of the episode.
Exactly. But there's something else we say for the end of the episode, because it's something you need to do and be ready for every week. Class dismissed.